Good morning. Here I am at the beautiful Pump House Point Hotel at Lake St Clair, and it's such a gorgeous morning. Last morning here, woken up and the snow is coming down. So as promised, here is a little video of what I usually run through each morning as a good morning ritual. Okay, let's do it. So come up to standing at one end of the mat. We're just going to take the feet hip distance and parallel, unlock through the knees. I like to start with a little bit of body tapping. You can skip this bit if you don't have time, but really it doesn't take that long and gives your body a nice little wake up. So we just start to gently move the body, rotating. You've made some fists with your hands and you're just kind of slapping your body at the back, waking up the kidneys. And just keeping that little bit of buoyancy in the knees as you rotate and tap. Alright. Then as you come back to the center, start just to tap up through the arms. So we want to try and get all sides of the arms tapping up and down. And you don't have to be so gentle with yourself. Really wake up, tap in along those meridians, up underneath the armpits, all around the ribs, across the chest, and we come up the other arm now, just tapping underneath the armpit, doing all around the ribs, getting into these little organs in your thoracic, starting to come down the legs now, tapping down through the front of the legs and the shins, coming up through the sides, into the glutes and across the lower back. Down the back of the legs, just getting the blood flowing. Alright, coming all the way back up to standing. Reset your posture if you need to, so feet are parallel, hip distance. And then we soften a little bit through the knees, so you're settling your pelvis into that neutral position where your hip bones and pubic bone are flat on the front of the body. Soften through the shoulders and have that lifted feeling of the crown reaching towards the ceiling. Go, we're going to take a nice deep breath into the nose, float the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, just bring the right hand down and reach on over for a little side stretch. Use that left side body, come back upright, and then over we go to the other side. So a little lateral flexion here to get the side body flowing, opening up the lower back, just making sure you let your head go with the flow. Go lift up, grow tall, and then pick the rib cage up and reach over. So you want from the hips down, staying pretty still, and that you're just painting the shape of a rainbow with your ribs as you go from side to side. We'll do one more in each direction, up and over. Go lifting through the ribs, coming back up to standing, give the shoulders a little roll down and back. Soften again through the knees if you've locked them out. Have that feeling of wrapping your quads outwards. Okay, we're going to take a nice deep breath in here. And as you exhale, just slowly start to peel your spine off an imaginary wall behind you, all the way down into a roll down position. So you're just going to go to a stretch point where you can feel that length coming into the back of the legs. Just noting if you've let your weight come back into the heels, shift it slightly forward into the toes, bend into the knees, breathe in, extend through the legs, breathe out, inhale, bend, exhale, extend. So all these movements we do, we're going to coordinate movement and breath. At the moment, bending and extending through the legs. Allow the head to go completely heavy, arms floppy. Doesn't matter where you're at with your stretch, just so long as you're feeling that through the back of the legs. It might be calves, hamstrings, and then that's going to resonate up into the lower back. Good, let's go one more here, bending and extending, lifting the tailbone upwards towards the ceiling, hold there. Allow the neck to release completely. Good, bend the knees now and look forward, plant your hands on your mat, and we're going to walk those hands out till you come into a plank position. So your hands are going to be right underneath the shoulders. Really spread through the fingers, so you're pressing down into your index finger and your thumb. Press the earth away. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, pike the hips up towards the ceiling. We want to earth through the feet. Then lift those heels up. cascade forward to plank. Exhale, lift up to pike, earth the heels. Lift the heels, cascade forward, plank. Good, lifting, pike, eyes between the feet. Come forward, plank, eyes between the hands. Good, so we're just building a little bit of heat through the center. Remembering that T-zone connection, so drawing up pelvic floor, zipping up and buttoning up. Feeling that space between the hip bones and underneath the belly button is alive, awake, and you're moving from the center. Good, this time lift the hips up into your pike, hold there, press down into the fingers, and we're just going to walk it out. So bending into one knee, allow the other heel to press towards the mat, and switch, and switch. Good, so as you're transitioning from side to side here, just try and feel that your pelvis stays very still. And we're just freeing up that space through the back of the legs again, that whole back chain starting to wake up. Feeling now that you could shine your sit bones towards the ceiling, let both heels come towards your mat, and lift those sit bones up and back. Good, taking a breath in here. And then as you exhale, come forward, we're going to lower the knees to the mat and sit back into little child's pose. So pressing the hands firmly down into the mat, feel your sit bones reach back for your heels. Last breath here, take it in. And then just coming forward to a 4-point kneeling position on your mat. So you want to make sure your hands are right underneath the shoulders, knees are right underneath the hips, and you're shining your sit bones back and up. So we're trying to come to that beautiful neutral. Feel the connection of pelvic floor, then drawing up pubic bone to belly button and inwards, each hip bone to the center. Go, we're going to pick the right knee up and send it out to the side, flexed foot, and draw some circles here. So we want these circles to be big, but slow, thinking about that ball and socket joint as you're circling your thigh bone in your hip socket. So if you get any clicking, have that real conscious feeling of drawing your thigh bone back up into the hip as we draw these circles. And then we're going to reverse these circles. Good, circling the other way now. Feeling how stable your pelvis can be, but mobile through the joint. Drawing that thigh bone up into the hip with the circles. Nice, last one, circling. And then we kick that leg out to the side. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see this. So you're kicking it out to the side and bringing this left foot in towards the inner thigh, the right. Good, we're going to bring the left hand down onto the mat, lift up into a little side mermaid. So you're reaching, make sure the outer part of your right foot is pressing down into your mat, and then take a seat and fold down over that long leg. So we inhale, lift up, side mermaid, lift that top hip up towards the ceiling, and then come down, fold over that long leg. Inhale to lift, expand, lengthen. Exhale, fold, connect, contract. Good, lift up. We'll go a few more here, reaching through the wrist and through the ankles, so those opposing points creating length. And fold, stretch through the hamstrings and lower back. One more here, lift up. Good, press down into the outer part of the foot to deepen that stretch through the top of the hip. And then fold down, and we're going to hold here for a hamstring stretch. So really, it doesn't matter where you're reaching, shin, ankle, foot, wherever you are with your stretch. Try and have both hands reaching for that right foot. And each breath out, we're going to try and draw the belly button towards the right thigh and relax through the top of the shoulders. So you don't want to be using your shoulders and neck to get you into this stretch. We're using the breath out to soften through those spaces. Each breath in feels a little more length in the spine. Each breath out, fold a little deeper into that stretch. Holding 2 more breaths. So to come out, breathe into the side and the back of the ribs, Roll the spine back up, allow your head to be the very last thing that will come up. And then you're rotating now your torso all the way around to the bent knee, lengthening down this long leg. So we've transferred the stretch a little bit more to inner thigh and left side lower back. So feel each breath in, you're going to reach a little further for this right foot. Each breath out, you're going to open your heart up towards the ceiling. You can look up if it feels comfortable through the neck. And if you still need more, that top arm, reach up and over. Good, feel the breath into your left side ribs. Exhale, open the chest to the sky, reach a little further. One more breath, take it in. And then coming up towards your bent knee again, bring the torso back to the center. We're going to do all that on the other side. So coming back to your 4-point kneeling position. Hands under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Good, we're going to send this left knee out to the side, flexed foot, and draw some circles. So circling your thigh bone in your hip socket. Starting to wake up that joint, nourish it. Using your core connection to stabilize the pelvis while we work on mobilizing the joint. Good, let's reverse the circles. Keep pressing down into the hands, press the earth away. So you're lifting through that mid-back. All right, coming back to center, send this leg out long. I'm just going to spin. All right, sending that leg out to the side, flexed foot. So your right foot is now into the inner thigh of the left. And then we bring the right hand down onto the mat, lift up and over, and reach side mermaid. Then we exhale, fold down that long leg, reach. Good, inhale, lift, expand. Outer part of the foot pressing down into the mat. Exhale, fold, contract. Good, inhale, lift. Remember, we're coordinating here, movement and breath. If you've lost that breath, come back to it. Even if it's back to front, doesn't matter, so long as you're not holding onto it. Feel that breath come into that bottom rib. Exhale, squeeze it out, fold forward. Let's do one more here, lift up. Reach through the wrist and through the ankle, send them away from each other. Lift the top hip bone towards the sky, breathe into that top rib. And then exhale, fold down, hold. So remember, it doesn't matter where you are on your leg, shin, ankle, foot. Just that we're going to try and reach both hands in that direction so that you're trying to draw your torso around to this long leg. Flexed foot. Breath in finds length in the spine. Breath out, deepen that rotation, trying to get your belly button towards your left thigh. Fold, let the head release. Last breath, take it in. And then we roll the spine to come back up to sitting. Rebuild your vertebrae. Rotate the torso now towards a bent knee. Lengthen down that long leg. Good, so this one we've transferred the stretch to inner thigh on the left, right side lower back. And if you need a little extra, that top arm can reach up and over. Good, each breath in, find a little more length. Each breath out, rotate the ribs up towards the ceiling, look up underneath that top armpit. Good, keep reaching. Last breath, take it in. And then we're coming up towards the bent knee, rotating the torso back to the center. Good, so coming onto the mat, send both legs out long now, in front of you. You can have them so they're hip distance apart, flexing the toes back towards the nose. Have a feeling of sitting right up onto your sit bone. So if you needed to prop yourself up, like on a block or a blanket or something, you could do that just to get out of that lower back. So sitting up nice and tall, arms are reaching forward with the palms facing inwards. We'll take a breath in and lift the rib cage up out of the hips, dive forward, let the head release completely. Let it go. Expand into the side and the back of the ribs. And then as you exhale, come and rebuild your spine one vertebrae at a time to the top. Exhale, lift and dive forward, spine stretch. Good, keep reaching through your wrists, so don't let the arms relax. Active stretch, tummy button drawing in, reach, reach, reach. Inhale. Exhale, come and rebuild the spine back up to sitting. Exhale, lift the ribs, dive forward. Allow the crown of your head to completely fall towards the shins, deepening that stretch across the tops of the shoulders. Inhale here, and then exhale, come rebuild the spine back up to sitting. Interlace the hands back behind the head, so you're creating like a little pillow or hammock for your head. Thumbs are down the back of the neck, and wings out to the side. Feel that lift of your crown towards the ceiling. We're gonna add a little rotation here, so taking a breath in, and as you exhale, rotating to the right. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, rotate around to the left. Good, inhale, come back to the center. Now, if sitting up tall like this is, number one, not getting you into your tall spine position, or number two, really killing your hip flexors, just bend the knees so you're sitting up nice and tall, so you can be in this position and add your rotation and center. So wherever you're at, when you rotate to the left, press through the left heel or kneecap. Inhale, center. When you rotate to the right, press through that right heel or kneecap. Good, come forward, grow tall, rotate. Good, center. We're gonna go one more each direction, remembering that it's the rib cage moving that we're more worried about than elbows. Good, rotating, back to center and hold. Legs come together, arms reach out. You're gonna lower your spine all the way down onto the mat. Till you're lying on your mat. Okay, bend through the knees. We're going to come into a little bit of bridging. So feet flat on the floor, hip distance. You want to be able to feel your heels with your hands, so just have a little reach forward. Once you've found that position, come to your neutral. So hip bones and pubic bone flat on the top of the body, little natural arch through that lumbar spine. Good, you're going to have your hands down beside you. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, just roll to imprinted spine. So the back flattens into the mat. Then we slowly begin to pick one vertebrae at a time up off the mat to the top of the bridge. Pausing at the top, we take a breath in. And then exhale, melt the spine back down. Chest, ribs, belly, imprint. Tailbone is the last thing to connect with the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, rotate the pelvis, pull to imprint, pick up one vertebrae at a time off the mat, lift to the top. Now when you're at the top, your ribs are still closed. You haven't let your ribs pop up. Sink them down and tuck your bum under. Breathe in, and then exhale, melt the spine back down. So we're really using this bridge to articulate the spine more than build the strength. You should be feeling your hamstrings and glutes and spinal extensors, they're all working. But we're really using this as a spinal mobilizer. So tucking the tailbone, round up, feel the lift of the pelvic floor as you start to lift and peel one vertebrae at a time up off the mat. Inhaling at the top. And then exhale, melt the spine back down. Visualize that length as you bring it back down. One vertebrae at a time. Good, let's go two more here. So tucking and rotating, collecting one vertebrae at a time off the mat. And when you're at the top, really reach the kneecaps forward, over the toes. Inhale. Exhale, melt down. Feel, visualize that length as you come back down, so the bones of your spine lengthening away from each other. Tailbone connects. We're going to do one more here. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under and roll up, collecting with you one vertebrae at a time as you lift. Ribs together, kneecaps reach forward. Inhale. Exhale, melt. One vertebrae at a time comes back down and rest. So I like to add a little bit of core work just to wake up through my center. At the top of the body, we're going to try and hold neutral as much as you can, but remember these ribbies are also important. So feel the ribs close and that last rib working its way towards the mat. So we don't want to be like in an arched position here and using all those extensors. So coming back, closing the ribs together, pulling the hip bones together, and then just floating one leg tabletop. Slide the ribs towards the hips, float the other leg tabletop and hold. Good, inhale here, we're gonna tap one foot on the mat. Exhale, float it up, then the other. So just alternating, single leg toe taps, tapping and floating. Good, feel as the leg or the foot reaches for the mat, that your last rib is still staying connected to your mat. So you're not letting the spine arch as the leg falls away from the body. So once you get into that flow, make sure your pelvis is nice and stable. We're hinging here at the hips. And you can feel free to add a little bit more dynamic flow, so long as you don't add any instability into the pelvis. Tap, 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 tap. Good, we're here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both legs finishing at tabletop position and hold. Arms reach up towards the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, curl forward, bring the hands down beside the body. And then inhale, lower the upper body back down. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lower. Now as you curl up this time, feel the ribs slide towards the hips to lift the head and shoulders. You're looking over your knee line, make sure you can see your toes. And lower. Good, and as you come forward, have a sneaky little look at your pelvis. Make sure you haven't pulled the pubic bone to the belly button. Still you're in neutral. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lower. Good, we're gonna go 2 more and then come into our 100. So reaching through the pinky fingers, tailbone reach for the mat. And on this next curl forward, we're gonna hang there. Curling up and hold. So you're right up onto the tips of the shoulder blades. Pelvis is flat, reaching forward, breathe in. And as you exhale, start to pump the arms up and down. So we change the breath here and we take it in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 4, 5, in. Out, in, out. Keep going, so your pumping is coming from your lats. I want you to imagine you have a little peach underneath your chin, so you're not juicing that peach and you're not dropping that peach with the head reaching back. So keep the eyes forward towards the knees and you're pumping. Each breath in, we feel length again in the spine. Each breath out, curling a little bit higher. Right up onto the tips of the shoulder blades. You should be definitely feeling your abs right about now. Good, breathe it in, 2, 3, 4, 5, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one. Out. And then hug those knees in towards the body. Little gentle rock from side to side. Good, so if you feel your neck with that one, you can feel free to put your head down at any time. All right, feet coming down onto the floor. We're gonna roll it over so we can do some extension. So rolling over onto the belly, take the feet hip distance apart, and then to set neutral when you're lying on your belly, you need to press the pubic bone down into the mat. All right, feel that your tailbone is reaching away from the crown of the head. We're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders, looking straight down at your mat, so you're mindful of your neck alignment. Good, take a breath in, press into the hands, lift the chest, extend the spine. And then exhale, lower back down. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And again, it doesn't matter how high you're lifting. I want you to feel that you're reaching forward with the crown of the head. So your eyes stay looking at your mat the whole time. You're not going to look forward, looking down and lower. Good, lead with the crown of the head first. Lift, feel the rib cage, pick it up, and then fold back down. Breathe out. So you're using your inhalation to float the upper body up. Shoulder blades are gliding down the back. And exhale, fold down. Good, let's go 2 more here. Feel your little angel's wings, the tips of them coming together in the center of your back. Fold down, 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good, reach the arms, so you're still a little bit here in spinal extension. Press the pubic bone down. Reach the arms forward like Superman. Arm bones into the shoulders, inhale. And then as you exhale, cactus arms. So bend the elbows, bring the shoulders, the elbows beside the ribs. And then inhale, forward. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, Superman. Exhale, cactus. Good, so you're feeling the space between the shoulder blades. We're using those lower tracts, rhomboids, lats. Your lower back, if it's hurting, you're lifting too high or you're letting your belly relax. So have a rest if you need. We're here for 3. Reach arms forward, exhale cactus. 2, tummy button lift off the mat. And last one here, we'll finish with the elbows beside the ribs and hold. Reach the crown forward, float the legs, pubic bone heavy, and we go for a little kick with the legs. Like you're swimming, reaching back through your ankles, reaching forward through your crown. And from your hips up, nothing is moving. Nice and stable with the upper body for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, tuck the toes, hands right under shoulders, press back. Little child's pose, knees out to the side, sit back onto the feet. One more breath. And then come forward to your 4-point kneeling. Tuck the toes, spread the fingers nice and wide. Shine your sit bones back and up. You're lifting pelvic floor, drawing onto your zone. Breathe in. And as you exhale, lift the knees, come up into your pike or your downward doggy. Looking back between the feet, you can notice already how much more length you have through the hamstrings. And then keeping the pelvis still, we're just going to walk the hands in to meet the feet. Fold it down into your roll down position, let the head release completely. Feel the connection of the tri-points of the feet, so your body weight is not back into your heels, it's even across the balls of the feet and the heels. Good, breath coming into side and back of ribs. And as you exhale, scoop up your abs, slowly come and rebuild your spine. Feel how the shoulders will glide down the back. Neck rebuild, crown is the last thing to lift. Ready to start the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Ciao.